You're listening to the May 29th, 2017 reading of Blossom Goodchild's channeling with the Federation of Light.
Well, I feel nicely tuned in. Should we give it a go?
Welcome, Blossom, to this conversation. May we suggest that you take a few deep breaths?
Sure. I'm high in energy right now and maybe need to calm down a little. Okay. Done.
That is more suitable. For you see, it takes many aspects to tie what we do together. Sometimes, as you know, there can be failure in communication, which is down to all these aspects being in alignment.
So are you able to actually describe the process of channeling between us, or is it too complicated?
We can certainly attempt in words. Yet, as you know, this fashion may not suffice. Firstly, it is for you to be in the right space of heart and mind. In fact, your entire energy to be in alignment with the correct frequency. If it is not always tickety-boo, as you would say, Blossom, then we are able to tweak it here and there to bring it up to scratch. It is also imperative for you to know that what you do is truth. For many times over the years you have questioned your ability, or who we are, or if you are making us up, etc. There has been many quandaries as to our relationship over the years, has there not?
Oh, indeedy.
There also has to be complete trust. Over the years of communication, there too have been times when you were not sure if you trusted yourself or who we were. Due to your continual devotion, Blossom, all these things have now been verified in your heart, and this helps our communication process greatly.
A long time ago you mentioned as if there was one of your lot, with respect, who became me during the time we channel. I think we called her Edwina, of all names, in that I had a vision of her sitting within a group, and as in the same way White Cloud uses my body to speak through me, I sort of used her body to do the same, in your company. Writing that now seems absolutely ridiculous, again, with all respect. So, is that how it happens?
Dearest Blossom, as you are learning, absolutely everything is possible. At that time when we spoke of this indeed was a truth, for it was a great visual to allow communication to be easier.
Yes, but is that what actually took place?
Yes.
Yet, you are a collective consciousness, are you not?
Yes. Yet, that doesn't mean to say that we are not also individuals, just as, in a sense, you of the human race, although individuals are too, a collective consciousness.
So, did Edwina sort of manifest whenever I tuned in?
Exactly.
Is she doing the same thing now?
No, for there is not the need. We have grown and expanded in our ways, and by our, we mean yours and ours. We no longer need this visual. We are more advanced with each other nowadays.
I'm interested that you use the word visual. Was it something to focus on, or was it real?
Dearest Blossom, does White Cloud not always say that visualization is your most powerful tool? This is because everything is a visualization. You, as a being, think there is a profound difference between what is real and what one is imagining. This is not so. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference. To it, everything is real. Or would we say, everything is an illusion?
Well, which? Ha! And I know you're going to say...
Both.
Shall I pop a pill now? Or wait a few more sentences? 'Cause I have a feeling it's going to be one of those days.
Again, how can we explain?
How about we get back to the art of communication and all that it involves?
Basically, without wishing to state the obvious, yet we must, we communicate telepathically with you. This is both simple and complex, due to the fact of energy vibration in which we reside having to blend and connect with one that you reside in. We actually do not have a voice as such, yet we know of your language. We are aware of every form of language, if we must call it that. For on some planets there is only sound vibration, yet it is used in communication. Therefore, this is why we ask you to tune in first, in order to raise your vibration and, should we say, we then meet you halfway, for want of a way to describe. Once we are locked in with you, mostly it is easy sailing. Yet, of course, there are times when interferences interfere.
Meaning those of lesser light wanting to prevent it from happening.
Very much so.
Yet, how can those of lesser light manage to interfere with a much higher vibration? In the sense of, how can they tap into that higher energy if they are of a much lower one?
Because they have technologies that can interfere and manipulate the part of you that is still much more connected to the earthly vibration.
So they tap into me?
They can do.
Well, then, how come they don't always do it?
Because we know what we are doing, and we know what they are doing.
Why don't they just crash my site?
Because our word is meant to get out there, and so we see that it does.
How?
By making sure that we eliminate the energies that are trying to cause disturbances.
Is that tricky to do?
No. Would we say it could be done in a flash?
You see, this is when I feel it goes into the science fiction realm. Don't get me wrong, I know there are those that do not wish the light to emerge in its fullest capacity. Yet really? Do they know every time that I tune in to you?
No. For we have our seeking out technologies also, and can prevent such occurrences before they begin.
And yet, they would know to read a channeling, should they choose, so it's not like they don't know what we're up to.
Blossom, is there anything we are speaking of that is going to be news that blasts the brains out of those who interfere? No. We speak carefully and with respect for all, the entire human race. There is nothing that needs to be thwarted of all that which we speak. And we add, these days.
Yes, you read my mind. Of course you did. In that, way back in 2008, that was a very different matter with what you brought through.
Indeed. And much was done to prevent our news from taking place as it should have done.
So would you say they were successful?
Yes. For we, as you know, are not prepared to show as we said we would, if it was to cause any harm to your race. And those who interfere had a very different agenda to bring forth, should we appear as we said we would. So we had to let it be, which caused much heartbreak and upset and disappointment for you and many, many thousands.
I should say. So, while we're on the topic, and let's face it, I don't bring it up any more these days, for I know you showing up isn't what this is all about. Yet, that was 9 years ago now. Did you just decide it was a bad idea altogether and put it on the back burner?
It was decided that, for now, best laid plans were to be put on hold. 9 years down the track, there are many more souls that have awoken from their slumber, and many more continue to do so. When we do what we have said we will, when we appear in plain-sighted and obvious manner, there will be so many more that are unafraid and prepared to receive us.
So you're saying you will still appear one day in the way you said you would back then.
Without question. Yet, so much in your world is changing that the outcome will be far more beneficial than it would have been 9 years ago. This is not to say it will happen tomorrow or anytime soon.
So, are you saying that, as with a lot of things, it was a good thing it didn't take place then?
Correct. Although we would not necessarily have said that at the time.
Even with your wisdom and knowledge?
Even with our wisdom and knowledge. For like you, Blossom, we were saddened at what took place.
With respect, I thought you were beyond all those emotions and you just accepted that what is.
Correct also. Yet the energy that took place during that time was palpable. Many, many mixed emotions from so many. And of course, Blossom, we were deeply concerned as to your well-being.
Laugh? So was I. I do get what you mean, though. Often in life, a tragedy of sorts may strike, yet further down the track, you're so glad it happened. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in the good place that you're in now.
This is so. And we would like to follow through with that, in that your worldly affairs of state and your state of worldly affairs may seem to be in a state in these times.
So, who's your comedian?
We like to play on words to keep it light. Yet, we promise you, you will look back on these topsy-turvy times and be glad they took place. Because it is these times, with its upheavals and controversies, that are to lead you through to the place in which you are desiring to be. You cannot expect an overnight switch from one intense energy into a lighter, brighter one. It has to take place gradually, for the safety and understanding of all. It may seem like forever to you, yet it is not even a blink of an eye in the grand scheme of things, the grand scheme of everything. Can you not feel it, dearest ones? Can you not feel it in your heart, this turnaround of events that is taking place? Within you and in your outer world? You can. We say to each one of you, yes, you can. Take some deep breaths and tap into the world energy. Take some time out to do this. Honor yourself with this time, and you will find that which you tap into will be that of joy as its final outcome. The woes, worries, and concerns that you think are bombarding your energy grid are actually not. Your energy grid is complete.
To be honest, I'm not completely sure what the energy grid is exactly.
It is a grid that surrounds your planet's outer atmosphere. There are more than one, serving different purposes, and these grids have been battered and bruised over eons of your time. However, after much energetic work has been offered by those capable of fulfilling that role, they are now fully intact once more.
So what does that mean?
It means that the energies that are able to enter into your realm upon Earth are now of a much more intense light energy. Once, it was that they were damaged, and energies of a not-so-blessed nature could enter in and cause all sorts of havoc.
Well, I have to take your word for it, as this really isn't my field.
Having the grid complete, and it has been for a while, is assisting greatly in the healing of your planet. And indeed, there is a great deal of healing to be done. Therefore, it is aiding in the divine plan and allowing things to be put into place and stay there. In the past, they could be removed.
What sort of things?
Anchor energies. For the lifting of your planet into its true home requires accuracy beyond your knowing. It is a very delicate matter involving energy. one of the most delicate transitions that has, so far, been undertaken, and it is imperative that all is in its rightful place when it does take place.
You mentioned before that Mother Earth was moving into her rightful place once again. Someone wrote in to ask, when was it in place before, and what was it like, etc.?
This indeed, as you suspected, is for another session.
I look forward to it. And we're done. I can feel it. It's almost like a buzzer timer goes off in my energy. Thank you, my friends. Indeed, the time whizzed by today.
We are always in joy to be with you and all. Keep your beings elevated. Let your spirits soar, for there is so much to be thankful for.
Oh, yes. And so say all of us, in love and thanks.